5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living. This week's habit is make healthy food convenient and unhealthy food inconvenient. Hello, this is Dr. Brian Morris, and welcome to 5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living, where you will learn the tools to practice a healthy lifestyle 5 minutes at a time. I've been practicing internal medicine for 20 years. I went to medical school at Johns Hopkins. I trained at Yale, and I previously held a teaching position at Harvard Medical School. I currently practice medicine and hold a teaching appointment at UCLA Medical School here in Los Angeles, where I teach these habits to medical students, house staff, doctors, and of course, to my patients. Before we get to this week's habit, I'd like to remind you that the information contained in this podcast and at 5minutemd.com is intended solely for educational purposes and should not be used to diagnose, treat, or prevent any health condition or illness. This information may not apply to a specific health situation and is not a substitute for medical care by a qualified, licensed, board-certified healthcare professional. Please consult with your healthcare provider before implementing any of the ideas in this podcast or making any changes in your healthcare regimen. Among all of the nutritional habits that we discuss on this podcast, today's habit is one of the most important. Have you ever watched a television show with some tasty snacks by your side? Things like cookies and chips? Did you ever overindulge in these snacks? If you're like most of us, you probably did sometimes. Were those the only snacks that you had in your house at that time? Is it possible that you did have some healthy fruits or vegetables in the fridge? Well, today's habit is all about this process and how people tend to eat certain foods in their home and ignore other foods. Like it or not, our environment has a lot to do with how we eat. Fortunately, there are researchers around the country that are doing some fascinating studies that look at how our food choices are affected by our environment. One of these researchers is Brian Wansink from Cornell University, who has published many important studies. In one of his studies, he left a bowl of chocolate on the desks of people in an office setting. First, he put them right on the desk, and then he recorded how many pieces of chocolate were eaten. Then he moved the bowl of chocolates inside the desk to see how this affected things. Lastly, he put the bowl inside a cabinet 6 feet away. What happened? You guessed it. By moving the chocolates from the desk into the drawer, he was able to reduce how many chocolates each person ate by about 30%. Moving them from the desk to the cabinet 6 feet away reduced how many chocolates that were eaten by about 50%. 50%. So what does this teach us? It teaches us that the easier it is for us to find a snack, the more of it we'll eat. I know this sounds simple, but it's true. And the more difficult it is for us to access a snack, the less of it we'll eat. Most of us are so busy these days. By the end of the day, we're often very tired. So human nature is such that when we're tired and we're presented with several options, more often than not, we will take the easier option. So if it's 9 p.m. and I'm tired from a long day and the kids are finally in bed and I'm presented with the option of going to the gym to work out or watching my favorite TV show, which will I choose? Some of the time, I'm really good. I head off to the gym and I work out. But sometimes my focus and my discipline may not be fully engaged, and I may sit down and watch the TV show. And when that happens, what do? We sometimes grab something to eat, and we park ourselves on the couch and we watch that show. That's reality. We're human. So the key to this habit is to make life easy on ourselves, to make it easier for ourselves to make good choices, to make it more likely that we'll have success. Years ago, I saw an interview with Bill Parcells, who was one of the top NFL football coaches when I was a kid. Bill Parcells was asked what his secret was for success, how he was able to be so successful as an NFL coach and win so many games. And Bill Parcells said that his secret is to put each player in a position where they have a high likelihood of succeeding. I remember thinking back then how simple that was, but it was also profound. That's how I approach decision making for healthy eating. Put yourself in positions where you have a high likelihood of making good food choices. If you know you have a sweet tooth, don't have cookies or cake sitting around the house. Do what the Cornell research team did. Put the sweets far away from you. Perhaps put it in the back of the cupboard, or even better, leave it in the grocery store. Don't buy it in the first place. If you know you love Chinese food, if you know you love Mexican food, don't have leftover Mexican or Chinese food in the fridge. If you know you like beer, don't have beer in the house. It's as simple as that. On the flip side, make healthy foods readily available. Have fruits and vegetables ready in the fridge for you to munch on at night. Have steel-cut oatmeal already made as a healthy option for you to snack on at night. Find healthy food options and make those readily available for you. And make sure that the unhealthy foods are not readily accessible to you in your house, or better yet, remove them from the house altogether. These principles apply to more than just our home base. They also apply to our work situation, our office. It also applies to travel. Bring lots of healthy meal and snack options to work. Buy a small fridge if possible at work so you can store some healthy food options at work. And when you have to travel, bring healthy food options with you, such as oatmeal packets. Make being healthy as easy as possible. For me, I now have an elliptical trainer in my home because I found that I was more likely to use that at home than I am to go to the gym. I found that there were some nights when I simply did not go to the gym and I stayed at home to watch a TV show, so I found that it was better for me to purchase an elliptical trainer that I can use at home while I watch my favorite TV shows. That way I have the elliptical trainer right there for me to use to exercise on, so I am much more regular with my exercise regimen now that I have the elliptical trainer at home. Having that at home makes it easier for me. It puts me in a position to be successful. Think of ways that you can make it easier on yourself to put yourself in positions to succeed. Make healthy foods readily available. Make exercise options readily available. Make healthy options readily accessible to you, and make unhealthy options less available to you. Put yourself in a position to succeed. Do what Bill Parcells, the great NFL coach, said. Put yourself in a position so that you can succeed in every play in the football game of life. Let's keep the dialogue going. Let me know what you think of this week's Habit for Healthy Living. Post your comments and your experiences on the 5 Minute MD Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Brian Morris MD, and visit us anytime on our website, 5minutemd.com. Let your friends and your family and your colleagues know about this podcast, and make sure that you are subscribed on iTunes. When you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, you will receive new podcast episodes as soon as they are posted. And if you're finding the information on this podcast helpful, we would really appreciate it if you would take a moment and stop by iTunes and leave us a review. Thank you so much for listening, and remember to make today count. I will see you at the next 5.